So the question is, how long will it run the mini split? Well, this will take 1,200 watts of solar. In the summer, you'll be getting a maximum amount. So if you have 1,200 watts of solar coming in and you're getting the whole 1,100, almost 1,200 of it, that means it's both charging the battery and running the mini split. Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. Well, as you can see today, we're looking at another power station. And I know I do too many of them, I think, but this is such an important decision that you really want to get it right. Today, we're actually testing the BLUETTI B500. This is a battery. This is a huge battery down here. Dwarfs the AC200PL that I've got on top of it. But you don't want to waste your money. This is so much money that you're spending. You want to get it right the first time. And while nearly all of today's power stations are very high quality, you're not going to regret buying any of today's power stations. But if it's not suited for you to meet your personal needs, if you buy too much, you spend a lot of extra money and you get stuff you can't use. Or if you buy too little, it just isn't enough, and now you got to go out and buy another one that will meet your needs. Then you've thrown away a lot of money. So it is, I think, really important to cover a gamut. And I know some of these won't apply to you, but hopefully you can learn something each and every time we do this. So if you look at this, it's the B500K. It's a 5,120 watt hour battery. That's enormous. If you are in an RV, then this still might be something you want. You'll have all that battery power in one confined space. And then you can just run your cable, you can see your cable here, to your power station wherever you decide to put it. So having all that battery, if that's what you need, then this is an ideal way to get it. Now, you're going to notice, I assume you noticed right away, it's turned backwards. Bob, what are you doing? You put the thing on there backward. And I know it's silly, but that's the only way this cable would connect is if I put it backwards. I'm not going to put this thing backwards. I got to have access. And on the front of this thing, the only thing there is an on and off button, power button, and a light bar that gives 1 to 5 the state of the battery. So there's really nothing on the front you need. I can just easily reach around and turn it on and off. So that's not a problem. This is no big deal because I had to do this. It's just really kind of weird that you have to. And my guess is, and I've never really noticed it, a lot of them are on these power stations. BLUETTI is putting them on different sides so they can't meet everybody's need. This is really designed for the latest Apex 300, which is a fantastic unit and would make super good use of this battery, and it would fit on there much better. But this is the one I happen to have. Now, I can't have this in my Subaru. Even this thing's too big. I'm using the BLUETTI Elite 200 V2 because it is everything I need and nothing more. That's what I have to have. So yeah, the Elite 200 V2 is perfect in a Subaru or a van. But if you're in an RV, for example, and you know you're going to need a big battery and you're going to need the ability to grow with your needs in your RV, or maybe you're going to change your RVs at some point. You know you are. And so you're going to take the whole system out and move in another. That's a great reason to buy this because you can just keep upgrading as you grow. So there's an example of someone who this would work super well for. Another example is if you have, like I do, I have a little cabin and a piece of land. I spend 2, 3, 4 months of the year in it. And then I travel because I'm a nomad at heart. And so I like having a home base, and this goes great there. This goes really well. If you have an off-grid cabin, then it's really, really good. So there are a number of people for whom this is going to be perfect, but not for all of you. So obviously, I'm not going to put this in my Subaru. I'm actually giving it to a friend to test it for me. So right now, I am in the Arizona desert at a friend's who is building an off-grid homestead kind of thing. And that person can just really put this thing to use. So she has a mini split. If you're going to live in the desert in the summer, you just got to have good solid air conditioning. So when I offered this to test, for her to take it and test it for me, she said, yeah, I'd love to see if it'll run my mini split. So we've been testing it on her mini split. So she's been running her mini split off of this, and it's working really, really well, surprisingly well. It actually surprises me that it's doing so great. And this has 5,120 watt hours, and this has 2,300. So between the two of them, she has 7,400 watt hours. That's a lot of battery power. The inverter can easily handle it. So this is even not high up on their line. The Apex 300 would be far better. But even this is running her mini split, no problem. So the question is, how long will it run the mini split? Well, this will take 1,200 watts of solar. And as long as she has the whole 1,200 watts coming in, and during the summer, when you have to have this, so you don't even really have to have it in the winter, even in Arizona. In the summer, you'll be getting a maximum amount. So if you have 1,200 watts of solar coming in, and you're getting the whole 1,100, almost 1,200 of it, that means it's both charging the battery and running the mini split. So she's found that at startup, air conditioners at startup always surge really high. So at startup, it'll go up to about 1,000, and this can easily run 1,000 watt, on this 2,400 watt inverter. So that doesn't even stress it in the least. But then it drops down to 700, and she found, now it's November, so it's not even really all that hot. It's only been about 80. It will pretty quickly, once it cools the house off and gets everything inside cool, it will drop down to about 400, a little over like 450. And so it will run at 450 consistently to keep the house cool all day. And if she has 1,200 coming in, and this time of the year she doesn't get the whole 1,200, the sun's pretty low on the horizon. I always say buy for the worst times of the year, and November, December are some of the worst times of the year. The sun's so low on the horizon. So even if she had her 1,200 watts of solar up there, she would only be getting maybe 600, but that's still enough. She's running the mini split all day, and she's charging the battery, so it's maintaining itself and keeping up. She could even run a few other things for it. She's going to dedicate this to her mini split, and so it doesn't have to run anything but it. In the summertime, of course, it will be running the whole 750 probably all day. If she has the full 1,100, 1,200 coming in, then she's keeping up and maintaining. She can run this all day without the battery running down. That's pretty amazing. Then when the sun goes down, she's going to start running on the battery. But she probably doesn't have to run it all night. She's going to have to run it a few hours after the sun goes down to help the house cool down, because here in the desert, it takes a long time for things to cool down. So she'll run it for a few hours, and then she'll turn it off, and in the morning, she'll still have plenty of battery left, and she'll start all over again. What she has been doing up till now is just doing all of her, doing everything off of 2 generators. She has 2 fantastic generators, but she's burning a lot of gas. She's changing the oil all the time, and that's just not a very good long-term solution. She can get it to running off of the power stations. Boy, her life's just going to be so much better. However, if all she does is cut the use of the generators in half, that's a huge improvement. And this unit should easily be able to do that. So what she's found here in November, when it isn't all that hot, it's about 80 degrees during the day, mid-low 80s, she's burning about 1% an hour. So she could easily run this overnight and not even really damage her battery. So if it's 1% an hour, she ran it overnight at 8 hours, that's only 8%. That would be practically nothing on this great big battery, this big setup. That's how it's going to pay off, is by getting, just having a huge amount of battery will get you through. And between the two of them, having 7,400 watt hours of battery, that's really, really impressive. So if you are in an RV or a big rig, a schoolie would be perfect, can handle the weight with space. It's not an issue. RVs, same thing. If you're wanting to run a mini split in a schoolie or an RV or an off-grid cabin, this system right here is really, really excellent. But I would look for it. And if you're in the market for a big setup, this is an excellent one. This is a really good unit. I would think about the Apex 300 if you can afford it. It's got all that expandability. If you're in a cabin especially, it has 240 volt. And if you're in a cabin, 240 volts is pretty important. But whichever one of these you buy, this battery is a lifesaver, because that's where you're going to get the deep battery storage that you have to run a whole house, or which basically is what you're doing in an RV or a schoolie. It's a whole house. And so that battery is the key thing. Lots of solar, big battery. That's how you make your life really, really good. Okay, let me tear this thing apart and turn it around so you can see it. I'm almost certain that with the Apex 300, it's on the other side and it would match up. So this is an older unit, and so I think they've changed so that they will all match up for now on. So now you can see the entire unit. It comes with the cable that connects it, and it's the BLUETTI B500K 2150 watt hours. The only button is power, which is right here. You just turn it on and off with that, hold it, and it stays on. And then here is the battery that tells you the state of the battery. It's completely full, so it's solid. And on the side are just the battery in and out. So you have one battery going to the power station, and then there's another exactly identical outlet that goes to the next battery in line so that you can chain them. It depends on the unit. Different units will have different limitations. I think the B200 can only take one of these. I believe the Apex 500 can take 5. I'm not certain of that, but you'd have to look that up. But the bigger ones can really take a lot of power. And so that's how you get a whole house system, is by daisy chaining a whole bunch of these batteries. So there you have it, the brand new B500K. For some of you, this is going to be a lifesaver. You get 1 or 2 or even 3 of these, and all of a sudden you've got whole house power for your schoolie, your RV, whatever you have that's big, or even your off-grid cabin. Maybe you want to do both. You want to go back and forth, and this unit can do it. 100 pounds, you're going to need a friend to pick it up and move it around. But as long as you have that, you're going to be really pleased with this setup. So hope you got something out of this video, that this helps you to make a better decision about what will work for you and what won't work for you. If you did, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button. Tell your friends that this channel is really making a difference, and maybe they should check CheapRVLiving out as well. And I'll see you on the next video. See you then.